This is the Russian Dynamite, Masha Slamovich.
Becca here.
This is Not America's Sweetheart, Davian. And
It's Billy Starks. And
the super fly guy, Trayvon Jordan.
This is the fly side flyer, Jalen Brandon.
Hardcore Princess, Jules Malone.
Hi there, this is the Bubblegum Princess, Alexia Nicole.
This is the Brazilian Wonder Woman, Christy Jane.
This is the baddest black belt, Chennai Kai.
This is Kid Bandit.
The smash hit Joel Bateman.
This is Robin Renegade.
Cody Hawk.
Brutal Bob Evans. And you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment, one of my favorite podcasts in the whole wide world.
Ho, 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 and welcome to the show with Wrestling with Entertainment, the only audio experience on the web today, previewing and reviewing the latest shows from WWE, AEW, New Japan, and everything in between every Saturday, and interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Tuesday and Wednesday on YouTube. Castbox, sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. I am, of course, your host, that guy, James J., alongside Kalika Yachts, the leader of Squashwell.
Is it Merry New Year or Chris Mahana Kwanzaa yet?
It's definitely one of those. And the Americans give it us.
Oi! May.
And it's a great day for Christmas because it's tomorrow. And if you're joining us on Christmas Eve, I'm so sorry. But last week on the show, we interviewed who the hell did we interview? We interviewed
some dude. Somebody.
We interviewed the dude, Dr. Cole J. Khan. Incredible interview, incredible guy. And one of the more interesting vlogs we've ever experienced on the show. I highly recommend the Battle of Hotel California. You do not want to miss it, especially if you're a fan of our other guest, Dante Droga.
Well, remember, you can check it anytime you like, but you can never leave.
Yep. And then we had Riley Rocket. Scooter was actually a part of that one. Great interview, great goal. She just joined NWA, so congratulations to Riley as well. No, sir?
Yes, congratulations. And hey, I had to clean up after an old woman.
And next week on the show, we got Jay George. Incredible interview, very interesting individual. A lot of laughs, a lot of interesting content there. You don't want to miss that. And on the 28th, why not celebrate Christmas with satanic cult leaders, Lilith and Alexander Colley. All jokes aside, fantastic interview, fantastic human beings. We talk everything for wrestling. They're hairstylists, so we talk about that. Paranormal, onesies, and so much more.
Wait, the onesies are paranormal?
Yes, they are. And you could listen to that and everything else this Wednesday. And then in January, Tuesday the 3rd, our 4-year anniversary. Can you believe that we've been on the air for 4 fucking years?
No.
Yeah, me neither.
No. We survived?
Yes. And we're not just surviving, we're striving. We're interviewing the owner of CCW, DJ fucking High. So you please don't want to miss that.
Wait. DJ Fuck and Hyde?
It's been a long holiday talking about that.
I mean, God, I've never played that game before.
I know, you need to get the rum out your eggnog, homie.
Well, maybe I have.
Yeah, fucking high? Yeah.
Listen to some clips of our interviews with Jay George and Lilith and Alexander Crowley. Alright, now that we're done putting ourselves over, we are wrestling with 2022 top 5 list. We are going to cover our top 5 favorites from the year 2022 when it comes to pro wrestling. Scooter, the year as a whole when it comes to pro wrestling, how'd you feel about it?
It was it was it was good. It was a good to hell, I'll even say great. A great year for wrestling. I mean, there was so much, but yet kind of like it's definitely one of the most interesting years um on record.
What say you, Kaliko?
I can say this 2022 year, I think this was the first full swing year of wrestling post COVID. Not saying COVID's over, but where people could actually come together for these bigger than life events. And to me, I think that part was the biggest missing element of having the fans back. So you guys were the biggest element of having wrestling back. And plus we had some good wrestling, some hood shit, and you know me, I'm always with the hood shit. But overall wrestling was really, really great across the board.
I can't agree more. And, the quality of wrestling definitely took an uptime. Storytelling was fantastic. And even there was a lot of good shit, and there was a lot of crazy shit that happened this year as well. Most notably, Vince McMahon retired. CM Punk and the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega get into a brawl. Triple
Source
H
Awards.
Triple H retired this year. I mean, I know he hasn't had a match in quite some time, but I mean, the idea that he could have came back was out there, but it's still crazy to me that we are never going to see Triple H in a wrestling ring again as well. But and then you have, one of the vice presidents of AEW going to WWE, and it was just a lot of crazy shit. But let's get into it. Our top 5 tag teams of 2022. Kaliko, who is your number 5?
Uh, my number 5 tag team of 2022. Geez, there was a lot of tag teams. Uh, I will say that AEW does tag teams better than most, so I am going to go at number 5, the Young Bucks.
My number 5 pick is RK Bro. I feel like they had a lot of great shit this year. They consistently had great shit until Randy got injured. Um, Unfortunately, that story is not going to be told um, in the long run, but I mean, there is still hope that he will get that blow up. But yeah, okay, bro. Scooter.
My number 5 is the Street Profits.
Ooh,
They had a stellar year, both uh, in tag teaming, and we saw the promise of potential singles runs for both. Uh, Not only did they do one, but they did 2 Milka angles. No, only one. It was Gable Stevenson that did the other one. But yeah, the profits are solid, reliable, and I think a true workhorse team.
All right, Kaliko, number 4.
This might piss a lot of people off, but number 4, FTR.
Ooh.
They had a lot of great matches. They worked a lot of different events. My only setback is that you can't be the belt collector and you don't have the belts of your home goddamn promotion.
Ultimo Dragon would like to speak to you.
You know what? I wish I could meet Ultimo Dragon. That was my homie. I loved his shit.
Hey, don't trip.
WCW versus in the World or whatever the fuck it was, man. That shit was tight.
Hey, don't trip. Like he did at WrestleMania 20.
Alright. My number 4 pick, the Good Brothers. I mean, these guys were on every spectrum this year. They were on AEW, they were on Impact, they were on New Japan, they were on WWE. And I mean, having solid matches for all of these companies. So, I mean, you gotta give it a hand for the Good Brothers. Alright, Scooter.
Number 4 is I'm taking a little bit of a liberty here because if I really think about it, this team excelled in tag team matches, which were only made better by their trios matches. So I'm gonna say Death Triangle.
Ooh, that's a good one. That is a good one.
Alright. Kaliko, number 3.
Whew, my number 3 is a women's tag team. And in the year where we didn't have a stable tag team division for WWE, I have to give them props for carrying titles and making them important. And that would be Toxic Attraction. I mean, let's face it. I to give them props because keep in mind, Sasha and Naomi won the belts. Belts were literally on hold for like 5 months. So literally, the tag team division was basically the NXT division, which was basically going to be them to win had they didn't have certain injuries.
Oh. My third pick, the Street Profits. Like Scooter said, solid tag team. They've had some of the best tag team matches of the year. Maybe coming up short more often than not. But I mean, still, you gotta give it up to these guys. They've been so. Scooter.
Number 3 for me is FTR. Again, we've already said it. Solid team. We never thought Dax Hardwood would even find a personality, but the man got fight like an 8-year-old girl over.
Yes. Probably one of the more heartwarming moments of the whole year.
In fact, I would say it's the most heartwarming moment of this year and probably the last couple of years. But yeah, FTR is my number 3.
Alright, Kaliko, number 2.
My number 2 are the Prophets.
Hmm.
To me personally, I think this was their best year, and they never won it. They were coming up short. I think it was the I think the physique change and the fact that they showed that both of them were not going to try to be the Marty Jannetty's of the group kind of came in the full circle. But when I think of a match that I could watch over and over in 2022 on the tag side, Usos and the Prophets were way up there. They've had like some real great matches this year. So the Prophets.
My number 2, FTR. Like everybody said, solid tag team. I mean, they've been having the best matches of any tag team in any country, wrestling in multiple countries, holding 3 different titles from 3 different countries, except for the company that they're actually in, and having 5-star classics with all of them. So it has to be FTR. Scooter.
My number 2 is the Usos.
Mm.
The Usos had a stellar year, absolutely incredible. They broke a friggin' record. The only thing that I think discerns the Usos from my number 1 is they never really looked like they were in danger of losing those titles.
Oh, and Kaliko, number 1.
His number 2 is my number 1, the Usos. And the reason being is that the Usos easily could have coasted, right? But I think wrestling wise, this is their best year since the New Day feud. I swear to God, like they actually put in that work this year, and I think mainly because of the culmination of the storyline of how Jimmy came back and the whole and they ended up, they were beefing for a minute and then it finally came together. So to me, that story is very relatable. And yeah, the Usos, numero uno.
My number 1 is the Acclaim. Because everybody loves the Acclaim. Honestly, they entertain me all fucking year. Whether with Scissor Me Daddy Ass, getting adopted by Billy Gunn, and having some pretty decent matches. Probably the best match they've ever had against FTR a couple of weeks ago. And just being the reason I watch AEW every week. They killed it far beyond anybody else in AEW and gotten over more than anybody else, I feel, tag team wise. Even I saw that FTR was this year. I feel like the Acclaim got over more. And that's why they're my number 1. Scooter.
My number 1. Listen, it's the Acclaimed. Hands down, from they literally took being saddled as a comedy act turned it into a profitable gimmick, made memory after memory, thanks to Max Caster's incredible ability to memorize lyrics and occasionally improvise. Anthony Bowen's charisma and the effort he put in while he was being rolled around in a wheelchair. I mean, I've never seen people go so nuts for somebody getting the city wrong. But to see that, and then to see them, you literally can chronicle the year as the rise of the Acclaim. Each month they get a little bit higher, and eventually they reached the top of the mountain. Something I did not expect to happen this year.
I can even make the claim that the Acclaim don't need the titles at this point. They're more over than the titles.
Yeah, I would say that. I would say that rightfully so. They are this generation's New Age outlaws. They can get away with saying shit that only one other person in the company can say, and we'll get to that later. But the Acclaimed, and the fact that I got to sing in a chorus of "Oh, scissor me, daddy. Oh, scissor me, daddy."
Okay. Well, let's kind of open the forum here for a couple minutes. I would say it's damn near impossible to find 5 of the best matches of this year because there have been so fucking many. Kaliko, what were some of your favorite matches this year?
Oh man, where to start? How do I start? Actually, a match that people probably don't think that I like, but I really, really fucking liked was the Logan Paul match. I cannot believe I'm saying this. His debut match, and the only reason I say that is because the expectations were not that high. And he flipped that to a fucking contract, to a title match with Roman. I mean, what other person that comes in with no experience and just blows you away like that? That's to me, and that may not have been the match, but just the fact of his performance alone was captivating. I could easily go, like I said, Profits and Usos. That's another one that was really, really, really good. Very great match. Cannot even deny it. Let me see what other matches. It's so many though. Those two popped off my head off the rip.
We can talk about matches. One of my favorite matches this year, and I feel like they just had a saga of fantastic matches, was Cody and Seth from WrestleMania Backlash. It set up everything that they did for WrestleMania and made it even better the second time around. I mean, yes, the one at the Hell in a Cell was great, but for different reasons. I feel like this was just a pure classic match that we could talk about for years to come. An innovative match I absolutely enjoyed the hell out of was Shingo Takagi versus Taichi. The Dirty Count match.
Oh yeah,
I felt like that match was so innovative and so interesting and so much fun. And it definitely enhanced just a normal match with really simple rules. Scooter.
I'm gonna throw out a really surprising one, only because James has already said Cody and Seth, and I do like the Hell in a Cell match a little bit more. Now, make sure you're not drinking anything, because you may do a spit take when I say this. X-Pac versus Joey Janela.
What?
What?
GCW's Joey Janela's Spring Break 6 Part 1. Oh, what is surprising the most is when somebody you don't think can go anymore ends up tearing down the house. And finally, X-Pac doesn't have X-Pac heat. Also, the fact that Joey Janela wore Razor Ramon attire.
Ooh.
This was, I think this is one of the matches that should have gotten a little bit more notice, but I think I really want to put it up then, yeah.
Another honorable mention, Sheamus versus Gunther. That was the one I was trying to find. That one was hard hitting, yo. That one was great.
Was Gunther in Dragunov this year?
No, Walter and Dragunov was last year.
It was last year. That was a good match last year.
Because remember, I chose it as my match of the year last year.
Match of the year, yeah.
I feel like FTR versus the Briscoes, the 2 out of 3 falls match was phenomenal.
That was a good one.
More recently, AJ Styles and Finn Balor was honestly, everything you would expect from a Finn Balor AJ Styles match.
True.
And
let's see. Now, continue. Want to hear that?
Definitely a sleeper one that maybe you didn't notice or should maybe go check out again. Darby Allin versus Kyle O'Reilly from Double or Nothing. There was only a storyline that he hurt Sting and he wanted revenge, and they told that story perfectly in that match, and they had just a phenomenal, just a normal singles one-on-one match that I really dug, and I was at the event, seeing all the clusterfuckery that came with it. So it was a little refreshing to see, just a normal one-on-one match, 2 guys beating the hell out of each other. So yeah, I would definitely put that as an honorable mention.
Yeah.
Scooter?
That's true.
Let's throw Young Bucks, Red Dragon, Luchasaurus, Jungle Boy.
Oh, yeah. That one was a good one.
And I think I want to throw one New Japan match for honorable mention, and that's Jay White and Tama Tonga.
Yeah.
To me, the story in that match was just phenomenal.
Yes, that would definitely they had two really solid matches, honestly. You got any more Kaliko?
I'll throw in a women's one. I think Bianca Becky shined at that Mania. That was a good one. Um, I'm thinking the triple threat: Tony Storm, Britt Baker. I think Britt Baker is had a hell of a year too, especially when Thunder Rosa's injury and her kind of being like the gatekeeper of the women's division type deal. So I think she had a hell of a year too.
Any last mentions, Stu?
And, no.
Alright. Well, speaking of the women, let's get into our top five female wrestlers. Kaliko number five.
Let's see. Number 5. I'm gonna go Becky Lynch.
Hmm.
She started out the year with a great gimmick, and to me, the gimmick was it was just like the title meant everything to her, and it almost took her out as far as her sanity. And somehow, some way, she found her way back home, and now she's back now again. And considering that she completed a match with a dislocated shoulder, to me is like fucking off the wall. But she had a great year from a character perspective, and also getting Bianca to that next level. That I mean, Sasha got her there. That hey, she's arrived, she's there, but Becky made Bianca to the point where it's not a one-time fluke. So Becky Lynch, number 5.
My number five, and this is kind of sentimental, Masha Slamovich. She's been doing great things on Impact Wrestling. She had an undefeated streak. She killed Jessica Havoc. Um, and then obviously co-main events of Bound for Glory. And obviously I got a soft spot for Masha because we've interviewed her. So it's fun to see her, succeed. So definitely Masha is number five. Scooter?
I was debating on which one would be my number 5 and which one would be my number 4. My number 5 is Jordan Grace.
Hmm.
Uh, solid, solid year in wrestling, both men and women. And someone's gotta, she's one of the ones starting to break down those boundaries.
Alright. Kaliko.
I was gonna actually. She's my 4. That was my 4, and I think mainly because considering that she was. I'm not gonna say heavy set, but more people would think that she was heavy set. But then she lost the weight and kept the strength, which was phenomenal. So to me, her and her performance this year, eliminating all doubt, not only from an in ring perspective, but from a societal perspective as well. Uh, yeah, Jordan, man, you can't knock that hustle.
My number four, Rebecca. Unfortunately, she hasn't done a lot when it comes to titles. But I mean, she's still entertaining. She's still the face of the company, and you know, unfortunately, still doing jobs to people that don't deserve it. And
Oh gosh.
you gotta give her that respect, and you gotta hand it to the DMD. Scooter.
My number 4 is Mandy Rose. Probably, I could say she is. I would even say she's the most improved wrestler of the year.
Alright. And Felico, number 3.
My number 3 was Britt Baker. To me, she, especially when they had the uncertainty of and it's crazy because we had a lot of uncertainty with belts and reigns and everything, but she was the constant gatekeeper of that division. Like, no one, anybody who is somebody has to go through her to be solidified in the division. And to me, that speaks volumes of her, especially considering that, yeah, she may take an L's that she shouldn't maybe, but it just goes to show how important she is to the division. And remember, we were talking 3 years ago, like, okay, or 2 years ago, we were like, when the hell is she going to pop up? And she popped up in spades the last 2 years. So Britt Baker.
My number 3 is Liv Morgan. I feel like she had a short run with that title, and she did more in a short amount of time with that title than a lot of other girls do with a whole lot of more time. And to say, greatly improved, she she took Ronda Rousey to have a decent match, and she was starting to have decent matches herself and telling great stories. And talk about a match that was a really good match. Liv Morgan and Shayna Baszler, they killed it at Clash of the Castle. Unfortunately, I don't think they're going to give her that opportunity again. Um, but if they ever do, I feel like she'd be more ready this time around. So yeah, my number 3. Scooter.
Surprisingly, my number 3 was also Liv Morgan
Oh,
for the exact same reasons.
me and Scooter are vibing,
I know
But
y'all copying.
I'm sending him my notes.
I know, right?
I don't think well, maybe my number 1 is the same as one of yours, but
Felico, number 2.
Mandy Rose. Long and everything Scooter said, then some. The longest reigning women's NXT champion, unified the NXT UK women's and NXT women's champion, and took those belts and laid on the freaking lawn chair half ethnic. You cannot beat the girl. Had the best women's faction in wrestling. So to the leader and to the victor goes the spoils. Mandy Rose, number 2. And yeah, like you said, she's improved big time. But I think she always had it in her. I just think they never gave her the persona because they tried to make her Maurice 8.0. So now she actually has her own spin on it, and it's working.
Well, my number 2 is Becky Lynch. I think that the big time Bex persona really benefited her. I feel like she played, that chicken shit heel fantastically and expertly, and still was able to deliver fantastic matches, while also being entertaining. I mean, her jacket at Royal Rumble was phenomenal. Um, and yeah, I just feel, and then coming back, like what, a month ago, and becoming the man again, and people still love her and buy it. Yeah, definitely Becky still got it. Still the face of the company. So Becky's my number 2. Scooter.
my number 2, and I'm probably going to catch a lot of flack for this. My number 2 is Bianca. Bianca, clear stellar year. It kind of ran a little parallel to last year, which takes me a little out of it, but there's no denying that I think, well, Bianca might not exactly be the best wrestler of this year. She is the hardest working women's wrestler of the year.
Oh, Felicio, number 1.
Number 1, the fastest, the strongest, the BEST, Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair's run this year is what it should have been last year. And I remember last year when she lost it in it felt like 10 seconds, right?
27.
And I'm just going to let you know that if that hadn't happened, we wouldn't have had this. It almost had a Daniel Bryan-esque type of effect in essence, right? Because she goes on to go from that, and people were just afraid that she wasn't even going to have another shot at the title again. And there's one photo that encapsulates it that was floating around this year, and it was when she won the title last year, and you could tell that she was surprised at it, and she seemed very happy to just be there, versus this year when you saw her when she won the title, she knew she belonged. And that, to me, is the full contrast of having that confidence. Yeah, is she the greatest wrestler? No, not really, but she has the best confidence. She has the confidence, and that's 90% of it in wrestling anyway, the mental, because she has the physical. It just, the mental finally caught up with the physical.
Alright, you talking about controversial and getting slack? My number 1 is Rhea Ripley.
What?
Yeah, hasn't wrestled most of the year, but the shit she's doing with Dominic and just
Whoa, you gotta
wrestling the
pay for that.
men and beating up the men and I'm your papi / mommy, the Thanksgiving dinner, all
Oh
of
yeah, that shit
that,
was funny. I ain't gonna lie, that shit was funny.
all of that has made up for her lack of actually wrestling this year.
I
She
mean,
has been more entertaining and interesting of a character, and I feel like this attitude and this Rhea Ripley is the Rhea Ripley we should have had 2 years ago when she first came into WWE. She kind of lost it from going from NXT to WWE, and now we're finally getting that attitude back going into 2023. And I'm really excited to see what she could possibly do. And that's why, she's my number 1.
I mean, you also have to think about the fact that they're implying that Rhea is fucking dumb. They are implying that Rhea and Dominic are screwing.
I don't think it's implied. I think it's very much out there.
I mean, if it was out there, there'd be a tape. But, I mean, hashtag mommy for dummy.
Mommy for dummy. Jesus Christ.
The question is, will it turn into a real behind-the-scenes romance?
Those things usually do. Ask Edge.
Ask Edge multiple times.
Even CM Punk.
Hide your wives! It's Edge!
Alright, who's your number 1 student?
I'm so thankful that none of you took my number 1. My number 1 is Braun Strowman for having a bigger clit than Raquel Rodriguez. No. My number one is somebody who, at the start of the year, I did not like. And somehow, through everything, she won me over and
Ronda Rousey?
put on some of the best matches of the year. No, I'll never like Ronda Rousey. Fuck Ronda Rousey. My number one, and this might be more surprising than James picking Rhea Ripley, my number one is Jamie Hayter.
Whoa.
That, and honestly, I'm basing a lot of that on the Tony Storm match from Full Gear alone. But there are very few times where a match will make me, where I'm watching a match on TV and I will want to stand up and cheer and be like, all right, yeah. There are very few matches that can evoke that feeling out of me, and this did it, especially a women's match. It's not a knock against women's matches. It's just, it started as, me expecting, it's going to be another, potential, Jamie Hayter's going to get stepped on again. But the match, as it went on, it caught my attention more and more. And then it got me thinking about all the work she's been doing in trying to step out of Britt Baker's shadow. And usually in scenarios like this, when the quote unquote sidekick manages to succeed the leader ends up, turning on them. But they didn't do that with Britt.
Not yet, anyway.
And I'm really surprised. And I think that made it even more special. And I just appreciate the effort that Jamie has put in this year. In spite of, almost the lack of opportunities up until Full Gear. She had that 4-way for the interim, where, a lot of us said, Jamie should probably be the interim. But then we fell into a discussion about why be interim at all. But it's a success story. It's a story of hard work paying off. And when you can turn me, who over so many years of being a wrestling fan has become quite cynical, when you can evoke that emotion out of me, you've earned my respect, and you've got a fan for life. So my number one, Jamie Hayter.
No, I love the fact that we all had very different picks in this one, especially when it came to number one. Just want to show you how fantastic the goals were this year. Alright, let's open the forum again and talk. We talked about matches this year. Let's talk about events. There were so many wrestling events, and most of them had really solid, fantastic matches. I'll start. WrestleMania 38 was probably one of the top 10, if not top 5 WrestleManias of all time. No, guy?
That's a cop-out.
Honestly, being there, it's up there. It's a great event due to the fact that I think they found the perfect formula for how they do the 2 night. Um, and they evenly spread these matches out so that way people are more interested into going into both nights. Austin and Owens, everyone was going to be in the house for that one. That was a given. The Roman Brock, you could have. I mean, people kind of got tired of it, but um, people kind of forgot about that Pat McAfee match that was really good. That's another person who was a really good wrestler in 2022. Who he's had a little bit more experience, but he kind of broke out as well as a wrestler. And they had the whole Vince and Austin thing. WrestleMania was good, but to me, if you ain't yelling Full Gear, or was it all? No, was it All Out or Full Gear? Which one?
Oh, Full Gear was last month.
Then it had to been All Out. Now, which I think was,
Moxley?
huh?
Punk and Moxley?
Punk Moxley. That was a good one. Punk coming back, winning the title, and then all the bullshit that happened after. It basically took it put wrestling mainstream, not for the greatest of things, but to me it was just basically it was like, what the fuck? It literally was like, what the fuck? And the fallout from that, and how people were supposed to be, and it just shot everything out, and it showed that AEW has its issues too, because people kind of had this feeling that there's nothing going on wrong in AEW, and it's the land of sunshines and rainbows, and then you get that type of shit, and you're like, whoa, I knew you had it in you.
Scooter?
I'm gonna say, well, first to start, Revolution. Punk MJF dog collar.
Yep.
Normally I am, I don't like when blood is used to sell a match, but this was in spite of everything, this was a truly, these two put everything into this match, and it made it made us see MJF in a different light. And so for that, Revolution gets a spot on my list.
Definitely, if we're talking wrestling events, I don't think WWE had a bad PLE the whole year. My only one I could say, yeah, a little bit was Extreme Loss. Even that one was solid. Um, and obviously they had a string of great ones with WrestleMania Backlash. I thought I was gonna hate Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank was actually a pretty cool event.
Mm,
I mean, I don't think we're going to go back and watch it, but I mean, it entertained me for that time.
I mean, it. I'm hoping it's like the. Oh, can we turn that men's Money in the Bank match into the? Can we call it the Chris Benoit matches and pretend it never happened?
Oh,
Ooh.
well, another event I thought was solid from top to bottom was I believe it was Death Before Dishonor, which featured Casanoli defeating Gresham for the Ring
Wait,
of Honor title.
wait, 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 wait. You said it correctly.
What did I say correctly?
Death before dishonor. Yeah, you actually got it right.
No, Claudio's name.
Oh, that part.
Yeah, Claudio Iacocca. Um,
You motherfucker.
FTO versus the Briscoes in the a 2 out of 3 falls match. Then you got the a Wheeler Yuta versus Daniel Garcia. It was just a solid night of pro wrestling. No like frills, just again solid pro wrestling. And that actually goes a long way with me. Um, what was other? Oh, Double or Nothing. I thought was AEW's best pay per view. Even though it was like 6 hours and I was there. Um, but you had the Young Bucks versus the Hardys. You had Darby versus O'Reilly. CM Punk winning the championship that didn't feel like it was completely tarnished and shit. Um, who else wrestled on that match card? The Anarchy in the Arena clusterfuck match. um, just honestly solid event in my eyes. Um, any more nods you want to give, Kalika?
I'm trying to think. SummerSlam was good. Clash of the Castle was fucking good. Uh, Especially for the first show in the UK in a hot minute. I think the crowd made that event, and that just showed the importance of fans being there. Although the the interference by Tyson Fury kind of, but other than that, it was a really, really, really good one. Survivor Series was actually pretty good this year, considering we didn't do 5-on-5.
Yeah.
Um,
I think it was just it was refreshing considering they didn't do well with the SmackDown.
Thank God, because I mean, to me, it always seemed like a handicap match. Rob was gonna beat that ass anyway. Double or Nothing to me was a good one. AEW had a couple of good ones as well, so I can't knock them for it.
Any last matches you wanna? Any last PPVs that you want to put up there?
I want to again throw an honorable mention to GCW.
Ooh.
In spite of being an indie promotion and only airing on Fight TV, and they had some really really solid shows. Effie's Big Gay Brunch, Homecoming, Joey Janela's Spring Break. There's a lot of underrated events in the GCW archives from the past 2 years.
Matt Cardone. Hey, he owned the wrestling world for like a hot minute. I can't even knock him.
Hashtag Major Fat Cheater. Alright, let's get into our top five male wrestlers. Click on number five.
Now, this one is the hardest one. Um, to me, number five for this year.
Yoshihashi, obviously.
Fuck Yoshihashi. I'm gonna go Bobby Lashley.
Hmm.
Cause Bobby Lashley, he always had this thing where it was like he would either have the title and he would have to be important, or if he didn't have the title, people were scared he was going to be relegated to the back. And to me, he had maybe not his best year in the sense of accolades and accomplishments. I mean, he was a two-time U.S. title holder, but him getting the opportunity to have the Brock match, albeit it's um
Which one?
yeah, I know, but the
Doesn't
fact
matter.
that
He
he
lost.
didn't, but the fact
Won
that
them
he
both.
wasn't, and the fact that he wasn't in the title scene, but was still considered an important piece this year to me is very, very good outlook for Bobby Lashley. Because usually, he kind of falls to the wayside sometimes. So to me, Bobby Lashley had a great personal year from that regard.
I mean, the fact that they didn't put him against Roman might have been the thing that saved him.
That too.
You might not be wrong about that. Alright, my number five, um, Josh Alexander. I feel like this guy has been killing it and having solid matches, really having Impact Wrestling on his back, and not getting, his flowers. So, still hasn't had that, Bound for Glory hurrah moment. They're still screwing him out of that. But, I mean, he's the, the staple of Impact Wrestling. And I could say that he did better in Impact than Ethan Page has done in AEW.
AEW.
Yeah, AEW. So yeah, definitely Josh Alexander. All right, Scooter.
Number five. I was gonna suit. My 4 and 5 I think are a little interchangeable, but I think my 4 will deserve a little bit more. No, number 5. Only because he did a lot in the second half of the year. Number 5 for me is Sami Zayn.
Mm.
I mean, the guy becomes the and the comparison I'm going to make here is Sami Zayn is to the bloodline what Owen Hart was to the Nation of Domination.
That's a good comparison.
That is a great comparison.
And both, in spite of everything, got over from it. Sammy is outperforming the bloodline on the mic. That's given. But when you can make Roman corpse, when you can make Roman legit laugh, and he's got to hide it, you're doing something right. And the fact that he played the pivotal role in the Bloodline winning War Games. I think I really hope that it's only up from here for Sammy.
Alright, number 4, Kaliko.
He's actually a little higher on my list, but I'll get to that in a bit. My number 4 is John Moxley. Ooh, and it's mainly because of the fact that when all this shit broke down, he was the person that was trying to steer the ship right. And it would only be fitting for the first real crossover, you say, from WWE to be the person to steer the ship. To me, this showed John Moxley's leadership beyond compare, right? Did he wrestle a lot? He had his own personal demons he had to get over within the year. But I also thought that also gave him the perspective to be the leader that AEW needed, especially at a time when people were trying to figure out what the hell was going on. And that, to me, is why he's my number 4.
That brings me to my number 4, Amatonga. Legitimately his best year in pro wrestling ever as a singles wrestler.
Yeah.
You know, he wrestled, he won, B Block in the G1. He beat Jay White. He main evented a New Japan event in Japan as a Gaijin, against a Gaijin. And you know the shit he's been doing, getting kicked out of Bullet Club, reinventing himself, just doing all this great shit and outperforming a lot of the younger guys. It's just been a pleasure to see, and that's kind of why Tama is on the score. Right, Shiro.
Surprisingly, my number 4 is also John Moxley. Again, he carried AEW on his back at a time when he was supposed to get time off. And especially being a new father. And he's still going, which makes me scared for the guy, because burnout is not as rare as it used to be in this business. But yes, like Kaliko said, John Moxley has proven his ability as a locker room leader and as somebody you can truly trust to not only lead your division, but also teach your promotion as well.
Whew, number 3, we're getting there, right? Number 3, I'm gonna go Roman Reigns. No matter what you think of his personality, he was the only thing he was the only wrestler that made every fight that he did the big fight, right? and it says a lot, especially considering he had several of those matches with Brock Lesnar, and we feel like we got tired of it, right? But it just showed a different element of it, of himself, not only as a character but as a performer. Um, he's the guy who wants to be the dominant one, but he'll take the chicken shit way if it needs be. Um, he holds the greatest faction of this year. Um, he's on top of the WWE mountain. It's Roman Reigns.
Well, I kind of went back and forward with my number three. Whether it be Roman or who, you know what, I'm going with as my number two, and that's John Moxley. For all the reasons you guys said already. I mean, this guy went to rehab, got out of rehab, won. This guy's injured? Okay, I'll take the belt. I'll carry the company for a couple months. Oh, this guy got. Okay, I need to drop the belt to this guy. Fine. Alright, this guy got fired. You need to give me the belt back. I was supposed to go on vacation. Alright, I'll try the company again. He did it every fucking time. And not only did he do it every fucking time, he did it at a high level, never complaining, doing his thing. And, maybe the matches weren't the best all the time, but those promos were good shit. So, yeah. Max is my number two. Alright.
Well, certainly gets. It's only time where hepatitis A is a good grade in AEW. Okay, my number three is Nyla Rose. No.
She's number one in your heart, Scooter.
Number 16 in my programs, number one in my heart. I don't know why I just said it with a Scottish accent. My number three is Jay Paul. No, Bad but no. No.
Omarosa? What?
Yeah, Omarosa. Yes. You're fired. There is a lot of people that can fit this. And my number three is he's been consistent all year with his matches. Number three for me is it's AJ Styles.
Mitchell, number two.
Number two is probably the most deserving number two ever.
Most deserving number two.
Ever. And that is Sami Zayn.
Wow.
When you think about 2022 for Sami Zayn, the bloodline was just the cherry on top. He won the Intercontinental title, remember? Remember the match he was supposed to have that he had with Johnny Knoxville that everyone kind of just shot it dead, and he fucking made it gold. The fact that he made that match better than what it should have been by letting Wee Man body slam him for all that matters. Then losing the IC title, using that as a way to try to get into the bloodline, gets in the bloodlines and elevates everybody's character. And here's the right main reason I think he's number two. They had that little backstage interview, and Jay was so fucking pissed at him. I'm talking about he was just looking, and you just saw he was just mad as hell at him. And Sami Zayn just said, we're all about to go out to eat, and what do you think, Waffle House? The moment he said Waffle House, Jay went from fucking mad as hell to like this cheesy smile. And I was like, oh shit, he's the guy. He's the guy. The fact that he made him break character like that on the spot with just Waffle House, right? Just threw everything. That was just a foreshadowing of everything that was to come now with Sammy. And this is Sammy's year. This is Sammy's great, great year. Gotta say, Sami Zayn, number two.
My number two is Seth freaking Rollins. Every time he comes on your TV, you're constantly asking yourself, what the hell is this guy gonna do? If not for his promos, then what the hell is he gonna wear? And he consistently had the greatest matches, great match after great match after great match, all fucking years. Whether it was Roman at the Rumble, or Cody at the saga of matches he had with Cody, or the matches he had with Riddle. He had performed at such a high level this year. I can't think of anybody else that had consistently had 5-star matches the whole long run. That's why he's my number two. Scooter.
My number two is Pat McAfee. No.
I wouldn't have been mad at it. I would.
Me neither.
Again, I was debating what would be my number one, what would be my number two. And my number two was also Seth. I mean, he was what back when we were complaining that Mox was at the top of the PWI, and it should have been Adam Cole. That's what Seth is this year.
I mean, you're not wrong. He's had a phenomenal year. He just didn't have the title around his waist. Alright. Kaliko, number one.
Which is why he is my motherfucking number one. Seth fucking Rollins is my number one. And the reason being, because when it came to the in-ring attribute, he was the through line through and through for a lot of these wrestlers to get over. The fact that he was able to not only bring out the wrestling acumen, but the storyline psychology leading up to these matches, whether it was him dressing up in the Shield to fuck with Roman, whether it was him dressing up in the polka dots to fuck with Cody, bringing up Riddle's wife and kids. I mean, there was no depths of lengths he was willing to go to get in that person's head, to get them off their game, which to me made them elevate their game to match what Seth Rollins was given. And he hasn't had a bad match. He made Austin Theory look dangerous. The same Austin Theory we were hating all of this year. Think about that. And now he's going to be feuding with Lashley, which, I mean, that's only going to make Lashley better in the psychology department. So, to me, he is the guy that is Roman's a guy that's like on top of the mountain, but Seth is making everybody better. And that's why he's the number one.
Well, that brings me to my number one, Cody Rhodes. I feel like the saga that he had with Rollins is going to be talked about for years to come. He looked like $1 million the whole year. The and keep in mind he started this year off with a ladder match against Sammy Guevara. In a different company. And he just looked like a champion without a title. And I feel like we're going to see what was supposed to be next year, what was supposed to be this year for him. So, for all those reasons and more, Cody is my number one. Alright, Scooter.
Hold on. Come on, check. My number one pick is hard to swallow.
Are you eating one of them Church's biscuits? Because they will choke your ass. Oh no, the Popeyes biscuits will choke your ass.
No, I'm eating a chocolate top biscuit.
Mm.
If he hadn't been injured, my number one would have been Cody. My number one, and I'm surprised nobody else said it. My number one, and it might be because we're from the same place. It might be because we're the same religion. It might be because this guy is better than Moses himself. My number one is MJF.
You did hold AEW hostage for him.
He has absolutely stellar matches with Punk, not once, not twice, 3 times. He's got very few singles losses. In fact, the only two, his most recent was Punk and Wardlow. MJF ran the entire gamut of emotions while potentially using real life backstage issues to kind of propel himself really into the spotlight. MJF, I would almost dare say, is a one-man attitude era. I keep saying this. They're trying... At first I thought they were really trying to make MJF into a Steve Austin-esque tweener. But the fact that they kept MJF as that wisecracking Jew from Plainview, Long Island, it shows that MJF can hang with the best of them, and it proves that you can start at the bottom. You can start at the bottom in this day and age and work your way up to the top. That you don't have to be an established name and fall into something by chance. MJF has worked hard promos and matches wise, and I mean, he's better than us, and we know it. Also, I went to his bar mitzvah.
Full disclaimer, went to his bar mitzvah.
One disclosure. This ranking was paid for by the friends of Maxwell Jacob Friedman.
Honestly, I can say, I used to be a motherfucker that would say, you could talk a good game, but then the bell rang. It's starting to get there. It's starting to get there.
You know, it's funny. I'm getting less and less enthused with MJF as he goes. But
Because I'm betting you wanted him to really troll the line between face and heel.
no, the reason I'm not interested in MJF anymore is I kind of already know what he's gonna say before he says it. It's kind of so when he does get on the microphone, it's just boring to me because okay, he's going to say something. He's going to take the low hanging fruit. Then he's going to mention WWE, and then he's going to say something shocking or dramatic. I think the best person. I really thought that when Ricky Starks shut him down a couple months ago, that really got me invested in Ricky Starks, even more so than I actually was.
See, but I would say that this couple weeks ago when Starks and MJ when Starks won the battle royal,
The Battle Royal.
and went into another promo a promo off with MJF. MJF kind of had Ricky tripping over his words a little bit. Because MJF's words were so resonant that it almost made Ricky's seem like a vain attempt at a comeback. And you know, Ricky is an absolutely great promo guy, one of the best promo guys AEW has, and you know it's gonna be great to see these two as they feud, and it's gonna be Ricky's time soon.
I'm not knocking your number one for sure. It's just my personal opinion on MJF. I definitely had some knock-worthy picks myself.
I think MJF, to me, the run is going to determine because I want to see what they do with him in this run. Now, Ricky Starks is an interesting first challenger, but I want to see.
Yeah.
I want to see what he does once he's after that one, right? Because I want to see them how they're going to build him as a champion.
See, even I think the way you do that is you kind of have to prove that MJF can do it without resorting to tactics.
Right.
That he can do what William Regal was wanting him to do, and can say, "Oh, I did it, and he's not here anymore." So you know, he's to really cement it. He needs one or two clean defenses
And that's what I want to see because I can every win that he does and now no knock to it because it works. I mean, that's his style. It's always been the dirty win. And I want to see him get that clean win to actually state that I'm better than you, right? To put that to true. And Ricky Starks will be the first one in the long in a line of it. I think if they give him the question is how long do they think they're going to keep the title on him? Because I can see him kind of being the heel in which he wins no matter which way, and it pisses Khan off, and it will then shift the beef between Khan and MJF fight, which kind of takes away the fact that hello, he's the champion, and that's what I want to see for him to get to that next level.
I like the fact that we all had difference of opinions when it came to number one, whether it be MJF, Cody Rhodes, or Texas and Ryan. I'm happy Seth is on all of our lists because he has killed it this year.
I think the only person that was on all of ours out of those five is Seth and Mox.
Yeah.
Which goes to show the Shield runs this shit. Anyway.
You're not wrong about that.
I mean, if Logan Paul had a couple more matches, he might have been on my list.
I know, bro. I tell you, it was close. I'm just letting you know right now.
A couple more matches, I would have put him on my list too.
Because I mean, you had to be there when he did the Eddie Shimmy in Texas. You just had to be there. It was just like, what the fuck is he doing? Like, no, the fuck he didn't. And it was just like all bravado after that.
I mean, now I'm really kind of interested in seeing Roman Reigns versus Mr. Beast, Roman Reigns versus KSI.
Yeah. And if he gets Cena, that might be the biggest match of the year.
I mean, if he gets Cena, they could be. This could be the first WrestleMania match to take place between two characters in Fortnite.
Wait, Logan Paul has a Fortnite figure?
I thought he did.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past him.
I feel like Jake Paul would get a Fortnite skin before Logan.
I know KSI does.
No, Logan Paul has a Fortnite skin.
Yeah, yep, he does, yep.
Wow.
And then people can say, "Hey, it's John Cena, the guy from Fortnite."
Or
it's Darth
Peacemaker.
Vader, the guy from Fortnite.
Peacemaker. It's Peacemaker.
Well, that's the thing. Peacemaker got into Fortnite before John Cena did.
John Cena did. Ain't that some shit?
Alright, that will conclude our coverage of 2022's top fives. Hopefully, we'll do a top five for 2023. Hopefully, there'll be good shit that we could actually have that and not bother with it next year. So we shall see. The future is bright going into 2023. Thank you for listening. Merry Christmas from all families to yours. Happy Hanukkah from Scooter.
Damn right, motherfucker.
Happy
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav b'tzibanu l'hatachmeh shel Hanukkah, motherfucker.
Happy whatever you celebrate.
Happy third nipple day.
Thank you for listening for whether this is the first time you're joining us or if you've joined us for the last 4 years, the last week, the last month, the last year. Just thank you for listening. We hope to bring you incredible and interesting content all next year, and it already seems like it's going to be that way on January 3rd as we interview DJ Khaled. Before that, we got interviewed with Jay George and Willa and Alexander Crowley on the 27th and 28th. Please like, subscribe, comment, but I need to get the cast box. Of course, this is sponsored by Rose Energy and Fair One Coffee. Um, and follow the show at Wrestling with E, both on Twitter and Instagram for information on who we're interviewing, when we're interviewing them, links to those interviews, and so much more. You can follow me personally at JamesJ993. Where can we find Kalika?
You can see me heading into the new year. WrestleMania season's upon us. Let's go get it. And I am Kaliko.
Gotta get through Wrestle Kingdom first, right?
I mean, we'll see. Let's see if Sasha actually gets in the ring. Then we'll talk.
And where can we find Scooter?
As always, you can find me on Twitter at Scooter Dust. Find me, James and Ryan Dust, hosting the Remix on YouTube, a premier audio companion experience for all your alternate commentary needs for WWE Premium Live events. Next time we come to you, January 28th, the Royal Rumble. Don't miss it. And of course, revel in all my Twitch and YouTube antics as my character, Cordicus Darkin, battles with evil magic-bearing pirates in the Legends of Arcadia episode Althea sessions, now available on demand on YouTube and broadcasting live on Twitch, twitch.tv/Smoking Dragons, youtube.com/Smoking Dragons.
For Kalika Yachts and Scooter Dust, I'm James J, and this has been a Wrestling with Entertainment. Merry Christmas, you filthy animals.
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.